The Hangar Z Podcast welcomes Pilot Natalie Hernandez from the San Antonio Police Department, Sgt Pilot Yvette Tuning from the Los Angeles Police Department, and Kodey Bogart, Pilot and CEO of KB Aviation Solutions.
Definitely the TFO side of it. It's like the flying's fun, but the catching of the bad guys, getting that containment and the quadrant set up, that is just exciting.
Welcome to the Hangar Z Podcast, brought to you by Vertical HeliCASTS and partnered with Vertical Valor Magazine. Today's episode comes to you from the floor of VAI Verticon 2025 in Dallas, Texas, where we recorded live at the Vertical Magazine booth. Host Jack Schonely is joined by three outstanding guests: Pilot Natalie Hernandez of the San Antonio Police Department, Sgt Pilot Yvette Tuning of the Los Angeles Police Department, and Kodey Bogart, Pilot and CEO of KB Aviation Solutions. Each of these accomplished women followed a unique path into law enforcement aviation, and together they share valuable insights on a wide variety of topics, including technology, budget considerations, safety and training best practices, SMS, and the challenges ahead for our industry. We also discussed the panel they were preparing to present at the Airbus booth the following day. This was an engaging and inspiring conversation, and we're honored to have had all three aviators join us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We truly appreciate your support. Thank you to our sponsors: CNC Technologies, Airbus, and Anodyne Electronics Manufacturing Group.
Welcome to the Hangar Z Podcast, brought to you by Vertical HeliCASTS. The Hangar Z Podcast is the first and only podcast dedicated to promoting and exploring the personnel and equipment behind the missions in public safety aviation.
Still southbound, skidding to a stop. Stand by here. Looks like you're getting ready to bail. Heads up, guys, bailing. Okay, the guy, he's running through the house, jumping the fence, threw the shotgun, threw something out. Grabbing the shotgun. Don't go over that fence. Don't go over that fence. Grab the shotgun again. He is armed. Stay there. Hold your position.
It's time for your Heli Life Giveaway buzzword. Listen up and remember this word because you'll need it to enter for a chance to win exclusive Heli Life gear. Ready? This episode's buzzword is coordinates. Visit contest.verticalhelicasts.com to enter the buzzword.
So let's get to something for the past 2 days. Now, you didn't get to walk around as much as you'd like to because you're on display. You're on display, with your ship. Yes. But what have you seen here on the floor that intrigued you? Something where you went, whoa.
Actually,
anything?
There's a guy, I think it's a guy who owns that Black Hawk that has the motocross bikes or something else.
Yeah.
That was actually really, I got to see that. That was like crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did like that. That was the highlight of the FaceTime with the grandsons this morning.
Yeah.
The boom booms are on there, the guns, they call them boom booms, and said, boom booms and motorcycles. If you haven't seen that yet,
cool.
you got to check that out. It's wild looking. Black Hawk loaded with everything you can name: missiles, motorcycles,
perfect,
miniguns.
Where's this at?
It's right down the way here on the left.
Past Airbus.
It's worth a look.
Yep.
It's really cool. So that doesn't surprise me that jumped out.
Yeah, I was like, that was actually really cool to see that.
Kodey, you have gotten around here a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me, I just get really excited. And obviously, I have the children's book series piece, but we talk about planting that seed early. And so over the years of coming to events like this one, and including this one, I enjoy seeing more and more kids coming, young kids. And I love when seeing the families together. You got the parents with the kids, and they're all looking together because it is that family support that helps us along the way. Yeah. And so bringing them in and showing them what you're doing is awesome. So I enjoy seeing more families and kids.
I saw a lot today.
Yeah.
So I mean, too.
More than I remember in the past, ever in the past. I saw a bunch. And some of them people I knew. Clay Lacey. I got to meet Brennan, his son. I mean, that was really cool. I think that's great that he's here.
Yeah.
He's seeing all of this. And then there was a couple little ones out here with the dog when you guys were coming in.
They were so cute.
It was. I agree. That's really neat. That
and
the
you
kids
go to. I've been to some events before, and I would ask them like, "Hey, do you have like a kids' day, or when can kids come in?" They're like, "Oh, we don't let kids in this one." I'm like, "You're missing out an opportunity to you have retention issues or recruitment issues, that's because you're not exposing these kids to these opportunities that they can do down the road. So every year it seems there's more and more kids and families, and then that's what I notice the most. I happen to really, really enjoy that.
And tomorrow,
I did
Girl
notice that
Scouts.
as well.
Yep.
We talked about that. That's cool. They're going to bring the Girl Scouts in for your panel discussion, but they're not just here for that. They're going to be walking around,
hopefully see
and
everything.
there will be some sparks.
Yep.
In that group. There's no doubt about it. There will be some sparks in that group. Some of those sparks will be caused by the three of you saying something and pointing something out or making an observation. Some will just be by looking at the aircraft, but there will be sparks that spark some of those Girl Scouts.
And just show those girls there's an to see women, and you have your uniform on, and I love that. But to see the woman in a uniform and doing that, it's awesome, and just to show them like, hey, you can do this.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity for you, and I love it.
Yvette, anything on the floor that you saw that was grabbed you and intriguing?
Natalie's helicopter.
It is pretty cool.
So I went and looked at it.
It is pretty cool.
And, it's got that new car smell.
It does.
So that's pretty cool.
It's
But
brand
no,
new.
I mean, so I've been to a couple of these now. Yesterday was a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
But what's great is there's always new stuff coming out, which makes it challenging because, of course, we always want the latest and greatest. There's some really great cameras and just all kinds of different systems.
Yeah.
Loft.
Yes.
Gotta love Loft.
Yep.
They have the H125 and the H145, so now they got both of them out. I don't think last year they had both on the floor.
They did not. This is the first time that they've had both.
That they have
on
both,
a floor,
So you see both. So I got to fly that at one of the shows, I think it was last year or the year before, and as you know, now we got one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of near and dear.
Sure.
But it's just, there's so much.
It's almost overwhelming.
So much. I haven't seen what you just talked about. I haven't even been able to get down that way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So today, hopefully, I can walk around a little bit more. But it's just always great.
That's one of the actual negatives of these big ones, like IACP or SHOT Show, or there's a lot of different things that you can go to in law enforcement and aviation and stuff. It is almost overwhelming. You are not going to see everything.
Right.
So you have to kind of go to that booklet or go to the app and go, oh, I kind of want to look at this, and this, and make a plan because it's just so much. But there is always something new. Even in existing companies, like we just were down with Shotover and Tom Churchill.
Yeah.
And he's got a new controller.
Yeah.
Well, Shotover's been around. I mean, Churchill Mapping's been around.
Yeah.
But there's a new controller.
Yeah.
So every company, they got something. I mean, new aircraft, the one Airbus, the 140 got debuted. I mean, they had a security guard and drapes around that thing the other day.
Yes, they did,
And then the drapes dropped, and there's a brand new aircraft, Robinson, an 88.
Yep.
I mean, that's the cool thing about these things. That you really do get to see all this changing. And that kind of brings us into this. What are some of the areas of technology that you've seen change, or that you want to see, or you want to see change? Is there something technology-wise that you can think of as you're working, or things that you've seen that you'd like to see either change or like it right now? I mean, we need that. Is there anything that?
Nothing that I could think of. It's
pretty,
right off the
pretty
top
modern
of my head.
bird that you have there. I mean, that's a plus.
We got a lot of the bells and whistles.
You
do. Probably if I get the chance to walk around and kind of look more at the side booths and see the equipment, I could probably pinpoint something. But right now, it's like I love our camera system and our mapping system. And
which is it?
We have Shotover.
Shotover.
Yeah,
we just talked about Tom Churchill.
Yeah, we use the Westcam MX-10 camera.
MX-10.
Yeah. So that's nice. And I haven't even used the Traca spotlight that we have, because our other aircraft has a Traca, and I haven't even used that yet. And all the guys are like, it's the best thing ever. But, since I'm building my hours and stuff, I'm always flying, so I don't get to play with it that often. But they said it's a great spotlight.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's been a big change.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say, well, I didn't even use it yet.
Yeah, I haven't even used it.
It's changing so rapidly that someone in a unit hasn't even gotten to play with that yet.
Yeah.
That's how fast things are changing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting.
Yeah.
Talk about technology, Kodey. You've seen a lot of technology changes over the years.
Yeah, I think the most important one that stands out to me is the advances in sensor and imaging systems, right? I think those are my most interesting things to look at, because that is so rapidly growing, and it happens so fast, right? And all of those tools help dramatically with our situational awareness, search and rescue, and things like that. So I enjoy the thermal imaging stuff and checking all those out and the growth of those.
They have changed dramatically.
A lot.
I mean, you look back to the early infrareds and the pictures that TFOs were looking at.
Like, how could you tell anything in there?
It's amazing that they found anyone. But they worked. They did. I mean, they were able to do it and adjust to it. But if they had known what the possibility was going to be within their career, by the way, I mean, the pictures now, it's
the quality is so good.
Vivid.
Yeah.
And even on drones now, the picture's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Technology.
So we were over at Shotover this morning
Yeah.
before coming over here, and their new camera is just phenomenal.
It's
and with that
amazing.
AI integrated into it, and now I've never worked that side of the cockpit. I'm just the driver.
But, just the driver.
But man, that is some really cool stuff, and I see it, and I think, oh, okay, how much for one of those? And now I got to times it by 15.
Yeah,
16.
Big fleet. Yeah.
Like, how do we do that? And I mean, we're happy with what we have. Don't get me wrong, but it's always something better coming. And I think, okay, well, is that something you guys are interested in? I'm interested in it, but it's really up to the TFOs and what they want.
Right.
I support, our chief TFO and the TFOs and that side of the cockpit, whatever they want or what they're interested in. We've got new radios in the past. Well, what's it been, like 5-6 years? They switched over to the Canyon radios. And,
we're gonna have
they love that. We're
gonna have an episode about the Canyon radio hopefully with Manny and with Lee, because there's some really unique things.
It was just I mean, our TFOs helped design that radio and how the functions work.
The functions are important,
and they like it.
Yeah, that kind of brings us into this, and I'll just come right back to you and budget constraints. I mean,
that doesn't happen in law enforcement.
No. There's no defunding is a myth, but there's always been budget constraints. I mean, nobody can spend as much as they want to,
right?
But in recent years, that has changed dramatically for the vast majority of departments. So how do you deal with it? And you really have to deal with it in your position. But how do you deal with the budget constraints without compromising what you do? What's that balance?
We seek grants. We look for other sources of funding.
There you
go. We apply for various federal grants and whatnot. Now, hopefully, Doge doesn't take them all.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just like any other city, we tell them what we need. We always ask for a little bit more, and we hope we get somewhere in the middle. Last year was a bad year.
Yeah.
Last year we asked for replacement helicopters. I was talking to you earlier, and you said every 10 years you have a 10-year replacement cycle.
Yep.
Well, with 16 helicopters, that wouldn't even be possible for every. That would be. A 16-year cycle would be a blessing.
Yeah.
We have 2 helicopters right now that are coming up for their second 12 years. So that means we have 2 helicopters that are 24 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the managers don't understand the aviation side of it. They don't understand aging aircraft. They don't understand that piece. And we try to educate them, and we write copious letters and explaining it. And the reality is it goes across the street to City Hall, it goes to the mayor's office, and either they support it or they don't.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this last year, it was decided that we weren't going to get any replacement helicopters, and fire department wasn't going to get any. And so, they decided to move the money into other areas. And I won't even get into that because that's very political.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unfortunate. So then we have to get creative. Like, okay, how are we going to replace? We're not going to get enough to get a helicopter, but we might get enough. We might get a grant to get a new camera, a 380 or upgrades with the ARS 750. Some upgrades. We find other sources of money for that. We'll see what happens this next year. We're coming up right on the budget, and we've requested 2. It passed, the first layer, and then, now it's got to go.
Constant battle.
Yeah,
that's the job. That's why George doesn't have any hair, because he was in that job for a long time, and it's a constant battle.
Yeah, and it's a balancing. You don't want to take it so personal that it causes your blood pressure to go up or affects your health. I do what I can do, and I'm not gonna.
No, you can't solve it.
There's only so much I can do, and all I can do is the best that I can do and present it. And I have a very a great lieutenant that I work with, and together we try to get it done. Yeah. And after that, it's out of my hands.
Yeah. Now, Kodey, you have a different angle on this topic because you go in to as a fresh set of eyes, as we talked about, and do audits and consult and look at safety programs of units. Budget constraints, is it used as an excuse a lot?
I think it's just it is a fallback. Like, oh, we can't get funding for this, or we can't that word again. It just becomes more of a challenge. When I was at the sheriff's office, I remember, I think I talked about this on the podcast, but we needed a new engine for the aircraft, and it's made by Rolls-Royce. And so they come back, they're like, can you get a different engine than this? Like,
can you get
let's go to the auto parts store and grab grab a new long block and put it in the aircraft. It's not like that.
So funny.
So educating your accounting department on stuff too, because they don't understand. Like, I know I can't get it. I can't on this one. Get a different engine. It has to be this one. What I see a lot of organizations do are multi-purpose platforms. To your point, you said you're going to do fire buckets. Where I was, we did law enforcement, air ambulance, and fire buckets. So being able to do all of those things in one aircraft, as opposed to having this is my firefighting aircraft and this is my law enforcement aircraft, and so making them multi-use. That can help with the budget. And then partnering with local organizations like the sheriff's office where I was at, because we were HEMS as well. We worked, a lot of our funding came from the local hospital. So that, their name was on the aircraft and everything too. Getting those collaborative partners around you, is another way to help augment that.
Yeah. But Natalie, I know you're a line pilot. You're not in charge of the budget or anything. But you know what the battles that go on in San Antonio. I mean, with budgeting and everybody's fighting. SWAT's fighting for money. Every unit's fighting for money.
Traffic and patrol, obviously too, for new vehicles, because I think even for vehicles they raised the mileage from I want to say it was 50 or 60,000 miles we would mile them out. Now they're 75,000 or higher.
Try 130.
Is that what it is now?
Until the wheels fall off.
Oh my gosh.
So it used to be like that. Now,
so
that budget's been cut in half too.
Yeah. See, so it's it's just everywhere, and we're kind of like you with the grants and some sort of federal grant money for firefighting, or working with the fire department, also seeing what kind of grants maybe they can get it, since they're going to be with us sometimes with the Bambi bucket or during rescues. Can they get us money too? Because they're using our aircraft as well. We'll help. We'll have DPS rescue swimmers or the fire department rescue swimmers. So it's can we all work together to just get money from somewhere, some sort of grant?
I like the idea of what you mentioned, Kodey, how you expand what you do. It kind of comes back to the Bambi bucket. Is that brand new for San Antonio, the Bambi bucket training, or has it been in place for a while?
It's been in place for a while, but not all of us pilots are trained on the Bambi bucket or the hoist or anything like that. So us newer pilots, we're having to kind of slowly get into that as the actual rescue guys and Bambi bucket guys, as they're retiring, we're slowly getting into it. So I just started Bambi bucket in December. So that's all brand new.
Do you like it?
Good for you.
It's a lot of fun. It was kind of scary at first, because you're having to stand on the skids and look and guide the pilot to the water source, and I am afraid of heights, believe it or not. So for me, I was okay, I'm going to try this. And so I saw our new aircraft has a handle, and I was like, you guys need to etch that in there. It's a Natalie handle. So
Natalie handle. I love that.
So I can hang on to this thing. But
don't break it.
I know.
Just grab it so
I'm
tight.
Holding it so hard.
Snap it. Well, here's an interesting topic that I'd love to get your perspective on. Best practices for safety and training that you've observed that you think, wow, I really like that. We're going to run with that. Best practices in safety and training. Any thoughts on that, Yvette? I mean, you're in a room with people that are doing that constantly.
Yes.
They're constantly looking at this topic. But
that's a good question for Victor Pappas.
It is. It would be a really good one. And he did pop his head in, but he left so quickly that.
Thank you to our sponsor, CNC Technologies. CNC Technologies, serving law enforcement, government, and military markets with tailored mission solutions, system training, and live 24/7 support. with CNC.live platform. Explore more at cnctechnologies.com.
At Air Support, we have they talk about the just culture, right?
Yeah.
We're very we are. I think our incident reporting system is top notch. We have a safety officer dedicated to that.
Yeah, that is good.
And we're very transparent. So when something happens, it goes to the safety officer. It goes to a safety committee. They look at it. They see if things could be done better, or how they could be done different. It's discussed at a meeting. We have a safety meeting. We try to do it every quarter or sooner, and it's a good process that we have. And then we have all of our supervisors have to go to SMS school at USC Safety. They send us there. I think it was the crazy thing is I was brand new to air support, and they're like, okay, Sarge, you got to go to this SMS school at USC School of Engineering. I'm like, what the heck, And they sent me there, and the gentleman that ran it, Tom, I'm trying to remember his last name, I'm raising my hand, and I'm like, hey, I'm new to this. This is a whole new vocabulary. This is a whole new thing. Can you dumb it down for us? Because there was like 3 of us. It was me, Parker, and Turner. I think all went. And it was very eye-opening. And I thought, wow, this is top-notch. Like, they are investing in us going to this SMS school.
Yeah.
Before I can sit in the chair as a watch commander. I mean, I'm a watch commander, but we take that very serious, that you have to understand the whole safety aspect of air support, because it's not like being a watch commander in patrol.
No, it's
where,
nothing like it.
You're just, not just, but it's completely different. You're assigning air crew, you're assigning aircraft, you're monitoring your people. You're looking at they go fly for 2.5 hours. They land. You're reevaluating their, how they are.
Yeah.
You're making sure they're taxiing and coming in and doing everything the way they should be doing. There's a lot that goes into being the watch commander at air support, and it's not just sitting behind the desk answering the phone.
Yeah.
So it's when I got there, and that was the first thing they threw me into, like a watch commander school, but for air support at USC, I thought, wow, this place is top notch.
Investing in you.
Yeah, they're investing in me.
And that didn't used to happen either. That was this is fairly recent, I would say.
Is it? Well, so 8 years ago, they did this.
I keep forgetting how long it's been because the time's flown by.
We've gone through a couple different safety officers since I've been there.
Yep.
John Izzo just recently retired. Did a phenomenal job doing, made lots of changes. Just really did a great job. We have a great log system. Well, he's working on getting a new log system with Zulu logs, and now Vic Pappas has taken over that safety position, and Vic is doing a great job.
Good.
And then, of course, you have, Kevin Gallagher over here, who's just the brains of the operation. And he's just, with this new sim that's coming in, and the amount of training, more training we're going to get.
Right.
It's all part of safety. Flying into clouds. We can actually do it in a sim now. And we can do it right after your check ride.
Yeah. Practice.
Yeah.
And wow, that's good. I think the important part there was the just culture, and so people can come in and admit, hey, I just did this.
Oh yeah.
And that is not like LAPD.
It's not like any PD.
Yeah. I mean,
really like
it's like, hey, I just had a tail strike in training, and the Stinger.
Yeah.
It's a little harder than normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's instant report. Do an instant report. I mean, we've had things off-site landing, tail rotor hit the bushes. Okay. They didn't know it till they landed, but then they saw it, and it's like, all right, let's talk about this. And then they go all through, they talk to Kevin, they talk to safety, there's investigation, but it's not like we're cutting paper and you got a, personnel complaint or there's punishment. It's, we learn from it.
Right. And try and figure out, what caused that?
Yeah, be proactive so it doesn't occur again.
Yes.
So
it used to, years ago, it was easy. And you'll be able to relate to this, and we're going to come to you next, Kodey, because you live this now. But years ago, it was easy to say, well, you put that tail rotor into that bush. Yeah. It's your fault, Yvette.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, hold on. Maybe there's more to this. Maybe it goes deeper than that. It goes beyond Yvette. How was she trained on offsite landings? Mm-hmm. Is our system in place there? Is the proper training is happening? Are there Is there evaluations of that training? All sorts of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of just saying it's your fault and you day off without
culture.
pay, you know?
Yeah, right.
So piggyback on that, SMS instructor.
Yeah, so I do love teaching SMS. It's quite a joy. I think I'm a weird nerd, but the integration of safety management systems. And when I go out and I talk about SMS, all it is communication, right? Communication will make or break any relationship with a spouse, a child, an employer, right? So a good integrated SMS is really just a means of communication from management to the frontline, and then from frontline employees backups, through management. To have the opportunity to come in and say, hey, I did have this event happen, and this is what occurred. Let's talk about it, or to be able to, obviously tell on yourself. But then if I see you do something, to be able to come out and say, hey, Jack, I saw that this happened. Let's talk about it. This is not the norm, or to have those communications. So I love the integration of more of SMS. It's not here to, to be the devil on your back and point fingers at you and to blame you, right? It's to get to a better place. So everybody gets to go home together, and that's really what I like. So I think the SMS is really a big part. I'm hoping to talk at an event around the end of September and really talking about breaking away from the binder and the practicality of an SMS. It doesn't have to be some huge, laborious, crazy thing. It can be super simple. It's just about really, that communication piece and an open and honest discussion.
Yeah. Open and honest discussion is so important on this topic. Because if you think, even for a second, that you're going to get in trouble, for what you just did, many are going to keep their mouth shut.
Absolutely.
And you're never going to know it even happened.
How many cops do you know backed into that pole and buff it out?
Yeah.
Say anything, right?
Yes.
It's going to take days.
I never did that, but but yes, it's exactly that. It's one of the issues, because law enforcement and aviation are together. It kind of hinders that culture at the aviation part, because you've been in this cop culture for so long, and it's like, you did this and you missed court and you're taking a day,
and we're competitive and fun and we want to poke fun at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the other element of it. That's for sure. But I mean, we would, I don't know if they still do this, but there would be incident reports read in roll call, and we'd have a discussion about them. And say, wow, I didn't even know that happened. Oh yeah, it happened 2 weeks ago here, and that, I thought that was valuable, because we would learn from other people's experiences, sometimes mistakes, sometimes they handled it perfectly. And you go, wow, would I handle it that perfectly? I better rethink that. I love that. They still do that?
So yeah, we used to put it on the rotator and print the copy, but now with Prism, we're going to be changing over to Zulu, but the reports they do now is after the safety officers completed the reports, gone through the safety committee, they publish. There's a publication, so it'll be basically everybody in the division gets an email. It says new publication. They go into that program, and they can read what happened, and then the findings and the outcome, and it's all there. So it's accessible to everybody. I don't know if everybody takes advantage of it, but they should.
Probably not.
Absolutely.
Probably not.
Because they're cops.
Yeah. and they get stuck in your own silo too. But most people don't want to look at other organizations, and I'm like, you're having this pain point right here, and I guarantee another organization doing the like thing that you're doing had that same experience, and maybe they've overcome it, and you can learn from them, and so you don't have to go through those pains,
I would look at them, and I would kind of identify, caution warning lights. Yeah. All that stuff's reported. So I'm like, I would look at trends like, okay, well, this one's constantly having this light or that light or whatever. And because as a pilot, I got to go out and fly, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I know that this one has a history of this or gov light or whatever it may be, fire light.
Right.
And I want to read how the pilot reacted. Because, again, I'm not flying every day like our officers are.
Right.
But I'd want to read, how did they handle that caution and what did they do? And the more I read those, it was like I would recreate it in my mind. So if that were to happen to me, I remember this is how so-and-so handled it. This is how...
Yeah. Visualization is very important, but you can't visualize something if you don't know it.
Yeah.
Imagine, a unit that, and especially a large unit like LA, like I said, things could happen on another watch, and you would never know about it.
Right.
Except for the safety report that now comes out on an email.
You have the checklist. I mean, you could look at the, have your partner, hey, look up this is what we have. Yeah. But to read how somebody else handled it,
Right.
or you know,
Yeah, it's
and how
valuable.
Learn.
Yeah,
I think you're learning from each other, right? All those lessons learned are important.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about at Eagle, Natalie? Is there the safety? Are there safety trends and cultures that are changing constantly, or that you've seen since you've been there?
Well, I think now we are going to start going to an SMS system. I think they were looking into that because right now we really don't have anything in
I know some
place.
good consultants if you guys are interested.
Yeah, definitely.
We know someone.
Yes,
Do you have a card?
I do. Make sure you leave me that business card. But yeah, we right now we don't have an SMS system. That's fine. Like kicking me under the table.
Shifty.
She's just handing you the
I
card.
know. Yeah, I'm sorry. But we do talk about things. Like if we have an incident, we try to communicate with each other. Like, hey, just so you know, this happened. This is what I did. And that's kind of how we've just been doing things. We don't really do like incident reports if somebody had like the caution warning panel light or a tail strike. Because I know I struck a tail, I think, in training, and we don't have an incident report, you know, because there was no damage. We just let the mechanic know, hey, when she was doing her auto, she like flared at 0. And we felt the stinger hit, and they just look at, okay, yeah, it's fine. And I think we need to implement something like that. Just this way we're just keeping each other in check, and then we're knowing we know what's going on instead of like, hey, I heard so and so did that, and then the telephone
rumors,
turns into the rumors. And
how are you guys insured? Do you have an outside insurance company that insures, or are you insured through the city?
I think we have an outside insurance company because we do have to fill out insurance forms like yearly, and they want to know like how many hours we're flying, how many hours each pilot has, and so we're having to fill out a form from a different insurance agency every year.
An SMS system in place will definitely help with your insurance.
Yeah.
And I know,
Yeah, I know they were starting to kind of look into that because, like I said, we just don't have one, and it would be a good idea to have something like that. For sure.
Have you been to San Antonio?
I have not.
Come visit.
Not yet.
It's a nice city.
I have not yet.
Yeah, come visit.
That's great. That's great. Well, that was really a good conversation about that. I'm glad we talked about that. I'm going to go to each of you with a unique question for each. And Yvette, you touched on it, but let's talk more about it. Let's dig a little deeper. Loft Dynamics. This is brand new. It just got officially announced on Monday. There's an article in the Vertical Magazine, the mega issue. There's we've talked about it on the podcast with Kevin that came out the other day, and Loft put out numerous news releases on the announcement that LAPD acquired a Loft Dynamics H125 simulator. However, it's been there a little while.
Yeah.
So
November
for Chili Flying.
Yes.
Chili Flying. So talk about since November. What's happening with it? What are you seeing? What's the feedback you're getting?
Thank you to our sponsor, AEM. The revolutionary MTP 136D P25 aerial firefighting radio is U.S. Forest Service approved. It's in stock and ready to ship. Grounded unexpectedly? No problem. AEM stocking dealers across North America are prepared to support all your mission-critical needs. Visit aem-corp.com/radio.
Hats off to Kevin. I mean, this was like a 4-year, I think.
He said 4 years.
Endeavor that he's been going through. And then dealing with the city as far as, getting it, finding a place for it. Well, you know what air support looks like. So, we had to do some reorganizing. Kevin has been working to, set up a curriculum. First, all the instructors went out to Santa Monica. They all got trained up on the sim and how to use it, how to train on it. He's been working copiously, doing a whole curriculum for it, and it's to complement our check rides. We do check rides every 90 days, and we would also send pilots and TFOs to flight safety in Denver, Colorado. But it's very costly. They're gone for 5, sometimes 6 days, and typically we only sent pilots, and we started sending TFOs just because they get some training as well. But again, very, very costly. And deployment-wise, as a supervisor, now I'm losing them for 2-3 officers for 5 days, maybe
That's
sometimes
a
twice.
lot.
Yeah, that's
It
a lot.
was huge. It was a big impact on deployment. So now, not that we're getting away from flight safety altogether, but as far as the H-125 training, and we can put a lot more TFOs through it. So now we can put TFOs go do their EFTs, their emergency flight training, and then after they do their EFT, they can then go downstairs and do some sim time. And so that's something that is invaluable.
Priceless. Yeah,
Yeah. Because I think I heard you talking was it you on on the podcast talking about, if the pilot were to have a grabber
Yeah.
and then your partner doesn't know how to land
Do
it.
anything,
and-
yep.
Yeah.
and it's a scare. I mean, as a TFO, that would be on my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I need to know how to bring this thing to a run on
least-
landing, or at least
yeah.
land it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great communicators. They're going to know how to communicate to the towers. But as far as putting that thing down, so that simulator is going to help with
Game
more
changer.
reps for the TFOs and then more reps for the pilots, because like I said, every 90 days we get to go downstairs. We could complement
nice, yeah.
complement our check ride with time in the sim.
Yeah.
So it's still new and
Yeah.
but they're using it.
Yeah.
It's starting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
It's
really
exciting.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
It is. It's
And
just going to
if-
make us better. And
Oh, yeah.
So much better, so much
Yeah.
safer. The tactical flight officer training, that's a game changer in that too,
Yeah.
because you take a TFO out to the airfield, it takes a lot of time to do a pattern, whereas you can have them do. You can just set it up where they start at 500 feet, and there's the runway, and let them do that like 10 times in the time it would take you to do one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And they're going to get so much more experience
Yeah.
quickly, and there's no risk of damage. No, the risk management of it alone on that particular mission is worth it.
Yeah.
But then you add to it the inadvertent IMC. I mean, that is
Yeah.
that's the biggest value.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the loft dynamics, it's incredible.
And you mentioned you hate Sims because you get sick.
I used so I
hate them.
if I'm not moving, like the screen is moving, I can feel like that warm sensation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I find that frustrating,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
well, you can overcome that and get past that.
Have
but-
you done the VR ones?
I've used those at an event where we had a company come in, and they're pretty neat as well.
Yeah. So that I'm not a sim fan. When I go to flight safety, I have to take Dramamine.
Yeah.
I tried to do it the last time. I'm like, I think I could do it 20 minutes in. I'm like, oh damn it, I gotta go take the Dramamine.
Yep.
This one, not
No
like that.
issues?
It's not like that.
They-
Yeah, that's cool.
I talked to them about that, and they have found very few people get affected in that way with that sim. And as long as the VR goggles are adjusted properly,
you gotta dial 'em in
and you got to
right.
dial them in and get measured, and then they record it, and all that. As long as that's done properly, very few people feel queasy. And I was one that felt queasy on the big one. I was just talking to Swanson. We were over Loft this morning, and he said, "Yeah, I didn't like it either. I don't feel it on this." And so it's a game changer. Those goggles have improved that dramatically. It sounds like it'd be funny to. I don't think there's science on it and a study, but just word of mouth. I've talked to at least 10 people now that say, "Oh, I don't like Sims," and then they do that. And they go, "That was great,"
Not bad,
and they don't feel
that's
it. So that's a clue. That's called a clue in police work, right? And that tells me that's they're doing something right there, and that the goggles is the game changer part of that. So it's exciting, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it's new. It was a huge project to have it there now.
Yeah.
It doesn't take up a lot of space, but it did.
Well, we had to move some people around.
I know. it was
They-
it is what it is.
They'll be
Yeah.
okay.
So
They'll be okay.
They'll be all right. And an air conditioner had to get put in.
Yeah, and electrical. That
Yes.
literally took 1 year
Yeah.
for the city to get the electrical.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
fortunately,
It took a day to do it, but a year to
get it approved and find the funding.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I believe.
And
I
there's some
believe
great people at LA
Yep.
within the city who helped us get that
Yes.
done. And,
Yes.
and without those people, we would not have
Yeah.
power to the sim.
Right. Angels Foundation.
Angels Foundation
Yeah.
and
It's a
some.
501c3.
Well, they didn't pay for it. The city ended up paying for
Yep.
it,
But-
unfortunately, Lance knows enough people with the city
Right.
and has enough relationships where he could really. This is again, you need people kind of advocating for you.
Yeah.
I can ask, but they don't really understand what we need.
Right.
Right.
And he had some relationships with people and integral parts
Right.
that was able to express to them, hey, this is what LAPD air support needs. It's coming. We
Yeah.
need to power it up. So
Right.
figure a way to power up this sim. and
get
he
some
got it done.
electrical, or have an event that it's hard to recover from because you haven't been trained properly, or recency of experience and all that stuff. So just give me some electrical power,
so we
save
could-
ourselves a few $1 million.
Yes. And what comes up very often is, this is a big unit that's well established for decades. There are aviation units, most aviation units are much smaller. They have an accident or incident. Sometimes they're out of business. So why wouldn't you invest, ahead of it?
Yeah.
It's hard because we were just talking about budgets and all that. But the logic in it is very clear, that if you invest ahead of time and we train, the chances of that accident, particularly some in particular, the inadvertent IMC being the big one, that could save not only lives, it can save our unit, it can save gazillion of dollars in lawsuits. This is a big investment, but the alternative is 10 times worse.
Yes.
Especially, law enforcement, you're there for the community, right? And so if that program goes away for whatever reason and you're not able to support them anymore, that's sad.
Yeah, it is. Very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad that happened. It's a game changer, no doubt about it. Natalie.
Yes.
Talk to us about something, a positive change that you've seen just since you've been there in aviation.
Actually, as I'll kind of go back to like women in law enforcement and how we are kind of competitive, and sometimes we don't try to lift each other up or give each other like good advice. Just in the last few years, our department now has started to get into recruiting more females to come on the department. So we do a women in law enforcement or women in policing event, which actually just happened this past weekend that I couldn't attend because I was here. But we put that on like usually every March. They try to do it on International Women's Day or the weekend before or whatever. And they have every unit that we have, patrol, traffic. I've gone out there obviously with Eagle, K9, our drone unit, to get women in law enforcement. So I think that's been a big positive change now that our department's doing, that PIO's doing. So I think that's been a great positive change.
That's a big change.
Yeah. And I mean, women come, like we have tons
I think I've
of
seen
women.
you put stuff on Instagram. It's pretty
big.
intense and real nice setup, and everything. Like, it looks like a great time. So
yeah, and they get to try the obstacle course and everything, and they're like, they actually get to see what we get to do in training at the academy, and they see the obstacle course. We have these big stairs, and all the women want to go up those stairs, and then once they get to the top, they're like, oh my gosh, wow, that's a lot of stairs, But it's great to see these women come out, and they're always asking questions, and so I think that's been a real big positive change that we've had.
That's big.
Yeah.
And another change is, how new is this aircraft that's on the floor?
We just picked it up, I think, in January.
So it's only flown
new car
since
smell
January.
still.
I don't even think we have
the new car smell.
I don't even think we have 100 hours on it yet. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Is there something on that aircraft that is not on the other ones? Or is it pretty? Is it standardized?
It's pretty standard. Like the hoist right now that's on there, we can actually move it to the other B3s that we have because we just have one hoist currently, so it just kind of interchanges between the other aircraft. Gotcha. And then the Traca Spotlight, that's our second Traca.
Okay.
So that's kind of our newest thing. Yeah. And then the railing on the rescue side, the
Natalie bar.
Natalie handle.
Yeah,
Natalie bar.
How many aircraft do you have?
We have four. We have 3 H-125s, and we still have an EC-120. That's mostly our training helicopter. Because we do all our training in-house. So everyone gets trained on the 120 first, and then once you get your hours there, you're commercially rated, then you start moving to the H-125.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Good. All right, Kodey, you know what we're going to talk about for your individual question here. Tell us about Helo Girls.
Yeah, so it's my passion project that I'm having a great time with. As I had mentioned earlier, like I'd go to these events and either they wouldn't let kids in or there wouldn't be very many kids, and yet they complain about we don't have enough pilots, we don't have enough maintainers, but we're not talking or planting that seed early enough. So Helo Girls kind of started with that thought process, and then my own frustrations as a parent when my kids are younger to find books that featured helicopters and actually the mission accurately. So there's some good books out there, but I was like, that's not really how that is. That's not right. Or they weren't safety forward. My big, safety nerd piece. I wanted something very safety forward and collaborative, showing teamwork and what we do in the missions. So that kind of all led me into creating Helo Girls, and it's been a lot of fun. Each book is a different helicopter mission. So you can do so many things with helicopters, and I really wanted to showcase that, how diverse these assets are, right? So the first one is firefighting. The second one's law enforcement. I have about 20 some titles planned. At one point, I'm going to bring the girls together for some specific training that I'm excited to do or
really
to write
cool.
about. So that, it's fun. I want kids to see that they can do it. Again, I didn't know about aviation when I was younger. I would never have thought about it. So through these books, it's an opportunity to say, hey, look at this. Look at these different missions that they can do. So when you look up in the sky, kids dream about, what is that? Where are they going? What are they doing? Well,
I'll see them.
Yeah, now here's a book about it. Or, you just had all the fires out in California, right, and all that was going on. And so it's also a way to show those kids, like, hey, I know we're going through this stressful time with all these fires going on, but here's a book that talks about all the work that's being done, to make sure our home is safe, our community is safe, and to show those collaborative efforts to children, I thought was really important. And it just happens that they're female pilots, so they're pilots.
That's right.
That's it. They're just
pilots.
regular pilots, and so each book, again, different mission, and then we'll have a different female aviator.
Yeah, and the first one was the firefighting side.
Yep.
And the newest, which just came out.
Yeah, February 25th was its official publication date.
Is the law enforcement.
The law enforcement.
And Natalie's on the cover.
And Natalie is on the cover. Her name is Selma, though. I should have put Natalie on there.
She misspelled Natalie.
I know she did. It's fine.
Well, I try to be strategic on the names as well because, I want the names to mean something. So Selma actually means peace and safety.
Oh.
And I also think about different cultures. Some names mean that you're up in this part of the culture, or you could be a lower level within that culture. And so I really wanted names that would resonate across different cultures. So I try to be very strategic about that. If I'm not mistaken, Abigail, she's my first pilot, and that means looking to the sky, or beauty from the sky. Book 3 is Zuri. It means beautiful. It's a Swahili name. So I'm trying to be cognizant of the names as well, because in different cultures, names can mean a lot.
Yeah.
So I also like how Selma's, she is named after a woman I met who's from Brazil, and she had this beautiful eyeliner, and she came up and she was just radiant. And I was like, who are you? What's your deal? What's your name? I need to know.
Because you're going to be on the cover of my book.
Yeah, I'm writing a book, and I need, so it fits for Brazil, and it's also a Spanish name, and it's also a Middle Eastern name, so it covers a wide spectrum as well to show more kids. So
You've really dug deep.
Yeah.
I mean, this is incredible, how deep you went on decisions of names, and that says a lot about you.
It's important. And then, the whole safety concept of it, leading with safety. I love when my kids do something and they're like, oh, we thought about that and it wasn't right, so we changed that. And I was like, yes, I'm winning as a mom or a safety practitioner, right? That made me feel good. So I wanted kids to really see, just step back for a second before you do something, think about it. In this case, I go through the PAVE acronym, so pilot, aircraft, environment, and external pressure. So there's that thought process that goes in there too. And then doing the mission as a team, doing it accurately, and then the child is referred to as the observer. So, hey, this is our observer, and they're going to be on the flight with us. And hey, observer, can you find the fire source? The fire, can you locate a water source? And talking about all those things, and talking about where the wind is coming from, and then coming back
really
from.
Good.
I know.
Really cool.
You're instilling. She's instilling an SMS system, in America's youth. I just love. I love how deep you went, and it was so well thought out. I mean, that's a good idea. Because what was the example you gave us for? You said the pilot's piloting, but they're also working the hoist on something that you found.
It was another book, and it is a great book, so I'm not trying to knock this off. But the
funny.
pilot flew out, and then they were also hoisted down to rescue the dog. I was
Who's autopilot?
Autopilot's good, but it's not that.
Isn't that great? Have you done that, Natalie? Have you hoisted down when you're fought by pilot?
Have you been the weight bag at all yet? No.
Not yet.
Oh, you have to. It's absolutely fun.
I can't wait.
So funny that example. I just made me laugh and going, well, I love that you're putting the realism in.
And it's important. And then, for my own children, when I read a book with them, we close the book at the end, and I want correlation. So I start to ask questions. So on the back of this, just like you would do a debrief, there's correlation for the kid. What was our mission? Who was involved? What did we do? Nice. What hazards did we notice when we were doing whatever? And was our mission successful? And
you can hold them up, too.
And nobody's like,
Yeah.
So who did the illustration?
So I worked with a publisher called Blue Balloon, and they have illustrators on hand. So they have a whole bunch, and they sent me like a portfolio of all their illustrators. And I was like, I like these 5, have them draw, a female pilot and a helicopter, and then I just would whittle it down from there.
Okay.
And so Barbara, she does these, and I am absolutely in love with her work. I was, I'm very specific. I was like, I need bright colors. Yeah. This is what I want, and then I curate each page. So I want this here, and I want this here. And she lives in Hungary, and so there's obviously some language barriers between, because I go through the publisher who then communicates to her. So the law enforcement one took me a little bit longer because, she at first had the searchlight on the side of the helicopter, and I was like, no, I want the searchlight over here, and then I'd have to send pictures of what a FLIR looks like, and then going through the FLIR image piece. And nobody can hear me flipping my pages on the podcast here, but I was thoughtful about that and tried it and how that all looked. And
that
then
was cool.
Wow. I reached out to Tony Weber, and I was like, Tony, I know we usually do white hot when we run the FLIR and stuff, but that just sounds boring for a kid's book. So I'm going to use the different filters and go through the pink elements, and so that really worked out. So just really in depth with her on an illustrator, but she's done just an absolute fabulous,
it's great illustration,
fabulous job.
I meant to ask you that on the podcast. Thank you, Yvette, for thinking to ask that, because you talked about art on the podcast.
Well, exactly. That's what I thought. I was like, well, she's talked about going to art school. Did she do
maybe
this?
Kodey drew. Maybe she also did the animation. I was going to ask you about that.
I did not, but I still do some art stuff. I did create my logo, but then I sent it to Barbara. I was like, can you make this Helo Girls-esque in her style? So they're all basically going to look the same. Everyone will always have braids, I think. But it's a lot of fun. So the correlation piece, again, in the back, so you come back and you do all the checks and stuff to make sure the kids are, did we go through all that stuff and thinking about what we did?
It's such a cool idea.
Yeah. But a lot of fun. It's been an absolute riot. I absolutely love it. And I think I said this on the podcast too. So I mentioned each book has a different female pilot, which it happens to be important, right? Representation does matter. My son is all in on being a fixed wing pilot. He has seen Top Gun and Maverick more times than I ever will, okay? Because I could care less. But he loves them, and he knows he wants to fly jets and planes, and he's just totally all in on board. But a year ago now, it's probably been a year, he came up to me in the kitchen, and he's like, Mommy, can boys fly helicopters?
That's a good sign. You did something right there.
And I said, no, buddy, it's just girls. No, but he'd only ever seen me in a flight suit. He's only, his experience with Helo Girls, so he never saw a boy. Right, and so I was like, "Of course you can, duh."
See the influences,
but you don't realize it. Yeah. So having girls from different walks around the world as the lead role model in the books it's been unique. I like it a lot, and it seems to work out really well.
I saw a sticker the other day. I'm gonna get it for you.
Okay.
And it's the Maverick kind of red, white, and blue logo, and it says Maverick can't hover. And I saw that and went, oh my gosh,
that is priceless.
I'm getting that for Kodey.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna mail it to you.
Send you my address.
I want one too. I mean, Maverick can't hover.
That's really good.
Battalion, I think, is where it was at. Just funny, because we all know hovering's hard.
I call it the rodeo.
Yeah.
So every time I would teach, I'm like, let's go to the rodeo, because it used to be Fort Rucker, it's Fort Novacil now, but the townspeople would come out because they knew that this was the day of hovering, and they would be on the fences watching and laughing at us while we're out there completely crazy.
Yep. Wow. That's hilarious. Talk about pressure, right? I mean, it's one that the two of you, doing it at an airfield someplace. Yeah. Now you have 100 people on a fence line going,
I remember poking fingers.
Thanks to our sponsor, Airbus. Airbus provides the most efficient helicopter solutions to its customers who serve, protect, save lives, and safely carry passengers in demanding environments. Its civil and military helicopters are flying all over the world, making missions possible. Visit airbus.com for more information.
And air support, we get a lot of tours, right? They go up on the roof and they watch people. So I'd be in school, and then I got to go taxi and hover they always had to park in front of the hangar doors. Yep. And you've got 40 people out there on the roof watching. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Please don't make me look like an idiot.
I remember feeling that too, going, oh, that was awful. Yeah. It was awful. You just, right in the beginning, and you're just like, oh man, now they're going to judge me.
A tour today, really?
Yes. Can't they watch the next aircraft come in?
Watch Astro come in. They know how to do it.
Distract them for a minute. Oh, my goodness. That's great. Yeah. Last thing, and then we'll wrap this up. You've been very kind with your time. You're relieved that you got to get away from
I was like, oh, sit down
for a bit. Yeah.
Your feet probably hurt by now already.
They're killing me.
I know. I understand. So let's talk about future challenges. That from your perspective, and we have 3 unique perspectives here. What are some of the challenges that you anticipate for law enforcement aviation, and how can we adapt and overcome? I mean, is there something on your radar that you see that challenge troubles me, or it bothers me, or this is what we're going to have to deal with? Yvette, what are your thoughts on that?
First thing that comes to my mind is the drones. Not that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just, it's going to be a challenge. We have a lot of agencies in the surrounding area, Beverly Hills,
Yep.
I think Monterey Park, Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
That they're all flying
launching them.
drones. And so that's something that we have to be aware of. And then also, we're looking at getting drones ourselves.
Right.
The police department is. And it's still, they're still trying to figure it all out. And, people will come to you, oh, aren't you afraid? You're not going to have a job. And I've never been afraid of that. Like, it's going to put us out of business. I think it can be a good complement to what we have.
Yeah.
But the challenge is going to be with LA is how are we going to incorporate that into our operations and make it successful and safe. So that I see as one of the biggest challenges moving forward, and it is coming. It will, and it's okay.
It's inevitable.
It's okay. We're not afraid of it. But
someone you know is going to write an article about that for AppsCon.
Is that right?
Yeah. And it's going to be based on Texas DPS, and we're visiting with them Friday and Saturday. They have integrated the human-piloted aircraft with the drones in an amazing way, and they're dealing with those issues and have worked out a lot of it. They're way ahead of schedule.
We have drones also on our unit. Like we just got a full-fledged drone unit like within the last year, and we actually kind of use them like K9 in a weird way.
That's a Texas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of how we do it.
DPS is looking at that too, or doing it.
Like the Stone Oak shooting that just happened a few months ago.
Yep.
Like our helicopter did great setting everybody up, letting them know where this guy was hiding. But our drone unit was actually able to like get into a window that was shot out and actually see where the guy was hiding so that they could direct officers where to stay away from. So they've actually been like a really great asset with us.
It
like
complements what you do.
Oh yeah, like we work together with them.
Makes it much safer.
Yes.
Well, you remember going to the backyard? It's like the unknown.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to me, K9 was more dangerous than SWAT.
Yes.
Just because K9, you're just walking into the unknown. SWAT is very sterilized, and then they come with all the cool toys.
Yeah.
But K9 was always very dangerous.
It was. And I've said many times, I think every K9 handler should have a small drone in a backpack, that they can deploy.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Cool.
Your dog's telling you something, you're getting close. Do I want us to take that next step? Maybe not. Maybe get the drone out and boom, and it's on a wrist thing. And it's coming.
But have you seen the robotics dogs? The robotic dogs. They have drones attached to them. So they have a drone
that will launch from the dog.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah, it's weird looking. It kind of looks like a headless dog, right? That thing. Yeah. It's weird.
Or the robo-dog.
Yeah.
SWAT has the robo-dog, but I don't think it has a drone attached to it.
I don't think so either.
It's just the camera.
SWAT does. They have some drones. I talked to Lee. The last time I was out there, I was talking to Lee about that and how do you guys use them and everything. And but the integration of the two, I think that's an important topic. I love that you're concerned about that. I'm concerned about it.
Patrol, they want to put it out to the 21 divisions.
Yeah, and that's great. But we're still flying there, folks, and the parameters that are set, they have to be adhered to the letter of the law, or we're going to have a catastrophe.
Yeah.
And that's why you're concerned, as you should be. But it'll work out.
It will.
Future challenges? Any on your radar?
I actually made a whole list of things, but I think
I'll bet you did.
Sorry, I'm just a nerd. But so we've already talked about budget, right, and funding constraints.
Yeah.
So those are obviously challenges. The technological advancements, right? So we need to continually do our training, and probably more recent in training, continually doing that stuff. But if all this new technology is coming out, then you don't have the money to put it on your aircraft. You're so much further behind, when it does come time for you to get your new one. So we've already talked about recruitment and retention talent. That's a challenge that
big challenge.
Every organization across the board is feeling. Your safety and risk management in more complex environments, right? There's a lot more aircraft. They're having drones fly at the same time that you're flying, and it might not be your drone. You know,
That's right.
It's someone else's drone or some 10-year-old kid's drone that they're out there flying. So, you know, they don't know the rules and laws, right? So we also have, you know, increasing regulatory compliance and legal demands that we all have to do, whether it's from our state, from an FAA, or some other regulatory body that I know oversees us. But so there's a whole lot of stuff. You know, we talked about drones, but cybersecurity threats in aviation, what does that look like? So there's a lot, I think, around the technology side and how we're going to grow with that.
Yeah. Good topics. I'm glad you made a list. And
I
I know
didn't
your
even
list
say
is
all.
longer.
That's a whole nother podcast.
I didn't even say all.
Kodey wants to come back a third time.
I told John I want to be like a pop-in special guest. Like, let's call Kodey and see what she has to say about this.
We'll do it on the phone. Kodey, you there? Yeah, we got a question for you.
I'm just at the grocery store. Hold on one second. I love it.
I like it too. Natalie, any thoughts on that? Future concerns that you see on the horizon?
I think that for us, like the recruiting, getting people to actually like get into law enforcement, and then once they're in law enforcement, getting them actually into the aviation side of it. Because I know we've had people come visit and they're like, oh, I really want to be an Eagle pilot, and oh, this is so awesome. And we start talking about all the training and the books and all this stuff that you have to read, and they're like, wait,
I got to take a test?
You mean I have to?
I got to know math.
I have
wanna look cool.
an 8-hour exam? What do you mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then they get scared of it, or they just don't want to do it because it's a lot of work. So I think that
it is a lot of work, but you know that's why
it's super rewarding. And
because I wanted to come sooner, but I had young kids.
Yeah,
and I knew how much work it was,
a lot,
and I said, not right now. Let the kids get a little bit older.
Yep.
And then, you know, so you have to find your time in life when it's going to work because it is a huge commitment.
It really
but
is.
anybody can do it.
Yes.
You just have to be willing to commit.
Yes, and that's what it is. And these younger officers, I think sometimes they're just expected like
immediate gratification.
Yeah, like I'm going to go and I'm going to fly.
I'm sorry, I tell my kids that all the time. You just Google it and you have the answer. They just want it done like this.
Yeah.
It's going to take months
It's gonna
of very hard work and studying.
But it's
and
so
studying.
rewarding.
It is.
so
Like
rewarding.
once you're
rewarding.
done, it's like, this is my job. Like, I mean, being on the O side, I've taken photos of like sunsets and clouds, and I'm like, this is my job.
Yeah.
Like, how would you not want to like commit to something like this and see all this beauty? That's
Makes all that work.
The sunsets
worthwhile.
always crack me up. I had like one of my TFOs. Like we were flying like into the sun one day, and I just kind of reached over and I just grabbed his hand. I was like, "It's my sunset." Just looking at the sun together.
That's great. You weren't wearing that poofy dress at the time, were you?
No, I was.
Okay, I'm just checking. Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great. But what you just said gets back to that Blue Angel pilot.
Yep.
Remember that?
Perspective.
Yeah. You know, it said you get the best flying gig in the world, and you just. It's worth all that effort, all those studying, all the FAA exams, the writtens, the practicals, the stress.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go, I'm here now.
Yep.
And you just look back and go, that was worth
You have all that
every
stress
minute.
when you have your next check ride.
Yeah, that's right.
Go through it all over
That's
every
right.
year, all the time.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I can't help this. I've been thinking about a story that you and I shared from a long time. It was off duty, but I keep thinking of it on a bicycle ride.
Okay.
You know what I'm going to go here? I think on a canyon, Laurel Canyon over in the canyons. We're on a bicycle ride training for the police unity tour, which Yvette and I both have done, and we were training. And this is a cycling maniac on the hills. She can climb like you wouldn't believe, and I would kid her about it.
She's telling herself she can.
Well, whatever was working, it was working.
I say dig deep.
Whatever she did, it worked. She would be way out ahead.
You guys would make fun of my
us.
bike too.
We would.
You call it my Kmart bike.
The Kmart bike.
And I'm like, but I'm ahead of you all.
And then she kicked our butts. She could climb like a maniac. So she's on this hill and she's climbing out ahead of me, and I can hardly see her. And I come up, and there's a guy walking down the street.
Oh, yes.
And he goes, come on, man, catch her. I go, ain't going to happen. And I go,
and who was it?
And then I come up to Yvette, and I go, hey, was that? And she goes, Tommy Lee Jones. It was Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
He
was walking his dog or something. And
funny.
it didn't dawn on me, and I went, oh my God. But he didn't say anything to me. He just kind of nodded his head. Yeah.
But his voice got me first.
Yeah.
You know, Tommy doesn't look the same as he does on TV, on movies at that point. And this is years ago, but it was just so funny. I went, that looked like, nah. And then I catch up and he goes, who was that? Yes, it was. It was Tommy Lee Jones, you know. But he was telling me to catch her. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I have
I'm realistic. I'm realistic.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can now. You're doing Unity Tour again, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Bob Bloor and Chuck Butita, it's their last one, as well as a couple of the Jersey guys I know.
Yeah.
It's their last one after many, many, many years of doing it. And I did 9 before.
I did 3.
You did 3. Yeah. It's a lot of work. To honor fallen officers, and it's about 260 miles, I think, over 3 days, Jersey to DC. It's very rewarding, too. It's worth all the work. We were just talking about that. Yep. All the effort you put in, it's very rewarding. You get to that memorial, and there's tears coming down your cheeks, and you just go, wow, I did it. This one's going to hurt for me because I haven't been riding like I did when I was in SoCal. Yeah. But I want to be there for those guys for their last one. It'll be really cool, and looking forward to it. Yeah, because it is a blast. It's up to 400 riders in the group that we did it with. It was 300 when we were doing it. It's 400. Yeah, and you're a long conga line of it's a mile long, and there's motor cops blocking all the intersections. You don't stop. You stop for brakes. You don't stop for red lights. You don't stop for stop signs.
It's great, yeah.
You're escorted. It's really, really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But we did a lot of training together for that back in the day when we were doing that. And Tommy Lee Jones was just happened to be there that day to witness it. So, thank you so much, all of you. I thank you so much. As soon as I heard about this, I said, "Oh man, that's going to be great." and we hadn't even talked yet.
I know.
But I had just met Kodey virtually, and I've known Yvette for years, and then I talked to you. We emailed, and I met you the other night at SR3, and I told John, "This is gold. I'm glad I got this one." and it was. It really was. The 3 perspectives and 3 very experienced people that have similar but different backgrounds all coming together on a panel. You're going to have fun tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
I think it's going to be great, and I hope I can get over and I want to hear the Girl Scout questions.
Me too. I'm excited.
That might be the highlight of the whole thing because you're going to get cool questions, much more intelligent questions than you got from me. Because remember, I'm in the age group of reading ability for the Helo girls, but I bet that'll be really rewarding as well.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Walk away feeling
so
good.
Grateful for Airbus. It's just an awesome thing that they're doing.
They're great.
It's
they're very smart.
Thinking outside that box, right?
Yeah.
Trying to, what else can we do?
Yeah. So, Natalie, Kodey, Yvette, thank you so much for being on the Hangar Z podcast. We really appreciate your time, and now you can get back to standing on the floor or walking the floor. All of our feet are going to hurt together tonight.
Yeah, I've gotten all my steps in.
But it's worth it. Thank you, Airbus, for putting these incredible people together, and then thank you, Kodey, for mentioning, hey, we might want to do this with the Hangar Z, and here we are. It was really worthwhile. Yeah. So from all of us at the Hangar Z and here at VAI at Verticon in Dallas, Texas, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time on the Hangar Z podcast.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Hangar Z podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more stories that promote the personnel and equipment behind the missions in public safety aviation. Lastly, stand by for a message after a word from our sponsors. Cheers.
Thank you to our sponsor, CNC Technologies. CNC Technologies, serving law enforcement, government, and military markets with tailored mission solutions, system training, and live 24/7 support with CNC.live platform. Explore more at cnctechnologies.com.
Thank you to our sponsor, AEM. Their revolutionary MTP 136D P25 aerial firefighting radio is U.S. Forest Service approved. It's in stock and ready to ship. Grounded unexpectedly? No problem. AEM stocking dealers across North America are prepared to support all your mission critical needs. Visit aem-corp.com/radio.
Thanks to our sponsor, Airbus. Airbus provides the most efficient helicopter solutions to its customers who serve, protect, save lives, and safely carry passengers in demanding environments. Its civil and military helicopters are flying all over the world, making missions possible. Visit airbus.com for more information.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Hangar Z Podcast. It was truly a pleasure to speak with Natalie, Yvette, and Kodey. They provided their perspectives on a wide variety of law enforcement aviation topics that we all care deeply about. John and I attended the Airbus Women's Panel after recording this podcast. The turnout was impressive, the conversation was inspiring, and the questions from the Girl Scouts did not disappoint. Natalie, Yvette, and Kodey are true professionals and incredible role models. There is no doubt that they inspired someone in that audience, and quite possibly in our audience as well, to chase their dreams and learn to fly. Our profession is too important for you not to share these episodes with someone you know that will benefit from the determination, hard work, and commitment of our 3 guests. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for joining us. Stay safe, and we'll catch you the next time on the Hangar Z Podcast.